Welcome to Oddity Vault, where we explore the strangest and most interesting things in the world. Today, we will decode a question that has the whole world curious. Why is Gen Z in South Korea quitting their jobs en masse? Have you ever heard that South Korea is home to super cool companies like a Samsung, romantic K-drama movies, and K-pop groups that drive the world crazy? But behind that glamour, there is a reality that is causing many young South Koreans to decide to quit their jobs, even abandon their dreams. What is happening? Let's find out right now. Don't forget to like if you're curious and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on other unique cultural stories.
First, let's talk about Gen Z in South Korea, those born from the late 90s to the early 2010s. They are the generation that grew up with smartphones, K-pop, and the pressure to become the perfect version of themselves. In South Korea, Gen Z is expected to excel academically, attend top universities, and work at major companies like Samsung, Hyundai, or LG. But you know what? More and more of them are saying, forget it, I'm out of here. According to a recent report, over 30% of South Koreans under 30 have quit a job at least once in their first 2 years of work. This number is double that of the previous generation. So why do they choose to leave jobs that many dream of? Is it laziness, or is there something deeper? Let's explore the first thing, the extremely harsh work culture in South Korea.
In South Korea, work is not just work. It feels like a battle. Have you ever heard of the 996 culture in some Asian countries? Working from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week. In South Korea, while it's not called 996, the pressure to work is still intense. Many companies require employees to stay late and join after-work drinking sessions, called hoisik, to build relationships with colleagues and bosses. If you refuse, you might be seen as unsociable. For Gen Z who grew up with a do-it-yourself mindset, they find this suffocating. A young South Korean once shared on social media, "I work 12 hours a day, but I have no time to live. I quit to find myself." It's heartbreaking, isn't it? But it's not just about working hours. The power dynamics with superiors and colleagues are also a significant issue. In South Korea, hierarchy is very important. If your boss says you have to work overtime, it's hard to refuse, even if the work has nothing to do with you. Gen Z sees their parents living like this their whole lives and they say, "No, I don't want that." Do you think you could handle such pressure?
Next, let's talk about social pressure, the thing that makes Gen Z in South Korea feel like they are in a never-ending race. In South Korea, success is not just about having a good job. It also means having a nice house, a fancy car, and a perfect life like in K-dramas. But what's the reality? Housing prices in Seoul are sky high. On average, a small apartment can cost up to 700 million won, about 12 billion Vietnamese dong. With a starting salary for Gen Z of around 2-3 million won a month, it's hard to buy a house even after a lifetime of work. So many young people think, what's the point of working hard if I can never achieve my dreams? Additionally, the pressure from family and society is immense. Parents often expect their children to be better than their peers, to get into big companies, and to bring glory to the family. But Gen Z in South Korea wants to live for themselves. They don't want to chase the standards set by society. Some young people even choose to be freelancers, start YouTube channels, or launch startups to be more independent. Do you see similarities with some young people in Vietnam? In Vietnam, they also face pressure to pass university entrance exams and find stable jobs. But perhaps it's not as heavy as in South Korea. What do you think about this story?
The third reason, and perhaps the most interesting, is the shift in Gen Z's mindset. Unlike the previous generation, South Korean Gen Z values mental health and work-life balance more than money or fame. They grew up with social media, where they see kids in other countries living independently, working remotely, or pursuing their passions. A young South Korean once said, "I quit my job at a big company to become a barista. The pay is less, but I'm happier." It's inspiring, isn't it? In South Korea, this trend is called YOLO. You only live once, living fully in the present. Many Gen Z choose creative jobs like vlogging, creating K-pop content, or opening small cafes instead of being stuck in an office. Interestingly, there's a movement called tangping, lying flat, in some Asian countries, where young people accept overworking and living more simply. In South Korea, Gen Z doesn't identify with the lying flat, but they are seeking ways to live true to themselves. Do you think this movement will come to Vietnam?
But wait, not everything is gloomy. Although many Gen Z are quitting their jobs, South Korea is also changing. Some companies are starting to reduce working hours, focus on mental health, and create a more friendly environment for young employees. The South Korean government is also encouraging policies to support flexible work. So, perhaps in the future, Gen Z will find the work-life balance they desire. But what impresses me the most is their changing mindset. Quitting a stable job to find happiness, that's not an easy decision, is it? In Vietnam, many young people are also choosing their own paths, freelancing or starting businesses. Have you ever thought about quitting your job to do what you love? Please share in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. So, we've explored why Gen Z in South Korea is quitting their jobs en masse, from the harsh work culture, social pressure, to the shift in mindset. This is not just a story about South Korea, but also a reminder that sometimes we need to be brave to live true to ourselves. Which reason do you find most noteworthy? Comment below to let me know. Don't forget to like if you were surprised and subscribe to the Oddity Vault channel to discover more strange cultural stories from around the world. The next video will be how Americans and Vietnamese think differently. Can you guess what's special about it? Thank you for watching and see you in the next episode.